Well, we'll talk about and we're live. It's Thursday, everybody. It's Thursday. So you know what that means. It is
Brother Empowerment Day.
So if this is your first time watching, Brother Empowerment, the whole purpose of it is to help our brothers to break through without breaking. Mm-hmm. So this is not one of those bashing shows where you come and talk about what you should do or what you shouldn't do. Nope, but this is an opportunity to have healthy discussions, to talk about different things from a different perspective, and hopefully walk away with some insight that may bring about some corrective change.
Yup.
So before we get into our guests, bro, how was your week?
So this week has been real crazy on just the conversational tip. And I know I say that a lot, but no, this week right here has literally been. I was chilling at the beach in the water, and then all of a sudden I'm on a roller coaster, taking all kinds of turns and stuff. I've had some really interesting conversations this week, and overall though, everything got handled to the best of my ability, and I ended up growing from it. So this week has been pretty good. Also, this week was great because my mom was in town throughout the whole entire weekend, and that was just amazing. We had a good time, ate lots of good food, joked around.
First of all, your mom is amazing.
Yes, she is.
You can't just say my mom was here. You got to pause. And mom,
yes,
who was dope,
yes,
was here. Yeah,
my mom is amazing. So it was amazing that she got permission from the military to come into town and function with us. It was amazing. So overall, the week has been good, bro. Can't complain. It's just a lot of growth and some good times. So what about you, man?
It was great until today. Today was interesting.
Okay.
Today was a very interesting day all the way around. I mean, even at work, I was like, whew. Today was one of those days.
Yeah.
I think one of the hardest things about dealing with days is actually having tough conversations.
Yep, most definitely.
No matter how essential a conversation may be, it doesn't take away the fact that it still can be somewhat tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I dealt with that today. I dealt with that a lot today. I dealt with that a lot today, but I'm glad that I did have it. But I'm also glad that I had the encouragement to even do it, or the courage to do it as a whole. So that was really my day. But the week was really great. Mm-hmm. Like you said, your mom was here, so we had an opportunity to spend some time with her. Like, if you ever meet, she's been on the show before.
Yeah, she was here 2 weeks ago.
So if you ever get an opportunity to really meet her, just know that she's coming with a wealth of knowledge. Mm-hmm. She's an amazing person overall. And we had some fun. Yeah. And then, Uncle Marcus burned. He burned.
Hey.
Ooh.
So anybody who is, if you never heard me say this, my Uncle Marcus can get down. The brother can just cook just in general, but on that grill and with that fryer, hey, he gets busy. He gets busy. And so shout out to Uncle Marcus. He cooks a whole bunch of food so my mom be here, we celebrate, and he cooked the hell out of that food. So shout out to Uncle Marcus.
Yep. So look at this. So which one making the noise? Is that Misha or is that Maya?
It's not me. I'm downstairs.
I don't know if it's me. I'm just sitting here. I have no idea. I was hearing it, but I didn't know.
So Maya, tell the people who you are.
Huh?
Tell the people who you are. Introduce yourself.
Now I'm nervous because I think it's me. So, oh my God, I'm pretty sure that's me. No. Hey y'all, I'm Maya Eaton. I got introduced to Love is a Parable through my cousin Nushell. Mm-hmm. I think she tagged me in one of these, and I've just been drawn ever since because I like that this can be an open conversation, and if you comment, you can be part of the discussion. It's not something that we can't see that, you know what I mean? Like, it's very, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It's great. It's an open conversation. I just turned 30. I'm a single mama. And
congratulations on just turning 30.
Thank you. I'm pretty sure that's me. I'm so embarrassed. And I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I was raised in a different world almost, because the world I'm noticing right now is not the way my dad raised me to be. And so I have just, from talking to people I do life with and the women I go to church with, they're like, you know what, like, because you're white, you need to really start using that platform. And so that's kind of why I'm here. I'm kind of just starting to learn how to have tough conversations with people, and not feel ashamed of it because I am white. And I think that a lot of white people need to get that out of their heads, that just because you don't get it, or just because it doesn't apply to you, that does not mean you don't have a platform to speak on some stuff. So that's why I'm here. I'm just trying to do the best I can with what I know. And I'm all about learning. Like, I'm obsessed with people teaching me new things or showing me new visions or whatever. So that's why I'm here.
Okay, excellent, excellent.
Okay, and I'm glad that you're here too. I didn't even going to get on when I first met you. So we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Oh, okay.
And then we're going to go ahead and have Miss Misha.
Back again.
Hello, guys. I am back. And this time, because Jay roasted me, we didn't get to all the other topics. So I'm going to not chime in as much, but I'm going to chime in. But overall, this week was an amazing week. I was off this week because I transitioned into a different career path on Monday, which I'll be going into hospice. I'm excited, nervous, all of that, but I've been in sales for a very long time, so I think I'll do well. I think it's just nervous entry because it's something different. Right. But I've enjoyed this moment of just sitting really in silence. Days that I have off, believe it or not, I sit in my house with no TV. My kids are kind of in their own world. You know, I have a 13-year-old and an 8-year-old. So the moment that I have that moment of silence, I try to enjoy it. And also, actually, in that time, believe it or not, whatever it is that God wants me to hear, I hear his voice when it's nothing in silence. So I had that moment for the last 3 days to sit in silence. And it was really good. It was very peaceful. This week went by really fast. So come Monday, I'll be doing something different. But I'm excited. Overall, I had a really good week. Can't complain. So let's get this thing rolling, Jay.
Don't be rushing me. But congratulations on your job.
Yes. Congratulations.
Yeah, when I first met, it's funny, Maya, when I first met Maya, it was through, you actually was commenting on Angie.
There's a show.
But you were commenting on Angie 5.
Oh.
And then you came on a live that we had, and I was like, and then that's when Michelle said your family, and we just gonna take you from her.
Yeah, man, that's fine. That's my family, so.
No. You gotta decide now. It's over.
Oh, well, I don't know. We gotta do both. What,
So,
Grayson?
we gotta start acknowledging the people that's online. Who's on with us?
So Sis is on with us. Hey, Sis. Joy is on with us. Michelle is on. Hey, Shell. Tashia.
Hey,
Jasmine Brown is on. Hey, Jasmine.
Hey, Jasmine.
Holly LaBrosse is on. So excuse me if I butchered your last name. Tara is on. Mama Garnett is on. Charles Williams is on. Let's see. My cousin Jelante is on. What's up, Jelante, man? And Deshaun is on. What's up, Deshaun, bro? And yeah, we got some other people I can't see them. But yeah, that's everybody who I see right now.
Let me see. We definitely gotta do the comments because that'd be the best part. Look at that. So while we're going through the comments, guys.
Hey everyone.
Hey, Shell.
So the first topic is, what about these rising COVID-19 cases? What are your thoughts? Maya, you know Holly?
Yeah, how do you know her?
I love Holly.
Oh my God, this is crazy. I used to bartend with her.
Yeah, and I stole her from bartending and she worked for me.
Wow, this is
It's
crazy. All
amazing.
right. Wow. That's crazy.
Over
Hey,
there,
Carol.
well, look, we're on COVID cases. Sorry. What are y'all thinking about the rise of the COVID cases?
We need a president who cares about us. And
Lord have mercy. Did she just Kanye our show?
Yeah.
sorry. You don't want me to comment on that. You really don't.
See, look, my wife said she loved Holly too.
Oh my God, this is so awesome.
Okay, Miss Misha's on you.
Why is it on me?
Yeah, how you feel, Misha?
You know what she acting up today.
Yeah.
Well, it's so crazy that we're talking about the COVID cases because I had this discussion with a couple of my friends as well as with my stepdaughter about the COVID cases. And I'm really over COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not alone.
I am so over it. But I think the cases and the numbers keep rising is because as citizens, we're not listening. The conversation I'll tell you that I have with my stepdaughter, because we can be transparent with each other. And she was just kind of expressing her concerns about COVID. And I was like, you know, COVID came from China. As you see, China has resumed back to its normal ways. And I said, and the reason is because they shut all the way down.
All the way.
And they focused on fixing the virus.
Right.
We are, as Americans, we're privileged. We don't want to follow the rules. We don't want to do what they tell us to do because we are America. And this is why you see the cases and the numbers keep rising, is because we are not doing what we need to do responsibly to bring the numbers down. I have to agree with you, Maya, when you said, you know, we need a president that will enforce. And I actually think that does play a big role.
Huge.
Because when you have leadership that is strong and leadership that is pretty much kind of guiding everyone through this whole process instead of saying, you know, oh, it's a hoax. Oh, it's going to go away. Oh, if it gets hot, it's going to go away. Hell, it's about 100 degrees outside and it's still out here.
By
so
Easter,
clearly that's
gone.
not true. But, you know, leadership is very important. But when you lack leadership, you've got to figure things out as yourself as an adult. And I think that we just need to be more responsible. And I feel like COVID is going to be around a little bit longer until the higher ups see that we got to shut everything down. Like even in South Carolina, the numbers are consistently rising.
Yeah.
And that's because, I mean, 4th of July was what, this past weekend?
Yeah.
Honey, the beaches were packed.
Yep.
I said, they said, hell, well, COVID, you know, I'm going to enjoy my 4th of July. I mean, there's a difference when you go to the beach and it's kind of a couple of people here, a couple of people there, but the beaches were packed. And all I kept thinking was, do these people not realize we got COVID out here? You know, and I realized that we just don't give a damn. Like, we don't care that we done lost, you know, thousands of people to this virus and there's no cure for it. So that's just my 2 cents on it. I'm going to drink my wine.
Charles
I
Williams,
agree with all of it.
I really don't believe them. I believe it's a scare tactic, just my opinion. And Deshaun went kind of with it. They're rising because people are being reckless. I agree about the president feeding us false information.
Yeah.
He also said people in America think that our rights are being taken away when that isn't the case.
Yeah.
And Michelle said, I saw a lady say, if we were told wearing the mask protect us and not wearing the mask protect other people, then more people would wear them because that's how selfish we are. And well, that's true and sad.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, I want to chime on something that the gentleman said. I think his name was Charles. Where he said, now, and it's funny because Winona and I had this conversation earlier today about COVID and the numbers and how they're rising. And I said, the media has a lot to play in this.
Right.
I said, because I wonder, you know, the media is responsible for getting us, you know, for really tapping into our emotions.
True.
We get all our information from the news, from social media. And I wonder if the cases are as bad as they claim that they are. I think that I'm not the only one that think that way. I do believe that COVID does exist. I'm never going to say that. But I do wonder if the media has hyped it more than what it is. It's just something that's always kind of sat in the back of my mind. If it's more than what it is, and the reason is because, you know, I worked in senior living, and I remember having a conversation with a family who was looking at wanting to move in the community that I worked at. And this is really what planted the seed. One of his friends' loved one passed away from cancer, but the hospital said it was COVID related.
Yeah.
So from there, it was almost like, well, dang, if that happened, what else similar to that has happened?
Yep.
Right.
So it was kind of plant that little seed in the back of my mind, and it was almost like, God, you just, at this point, I'm gonna just be honest with you. We just have to be, prayerful and watchful, and use a little bit of common sense. That's just about all I can say during this season.
Well, I'm like, I'm of the whole mindset that, like, listen, I ain't trying to figure out if it's fake or not. Like, because I took that test, and the test alone almost took my life out. It pulled my brain out.
I actually enjoyed it. Did you not like it, Jay?
You know, so many things that we could talk about this offline. But no,
I'll tell you why I enjoyed it.
Why you enjoyed it?
My coworkers laughed at me because I got tested for COVID because it's required in healthcare, because I work in healthcare. But they laughed at me because when my regional nurse gave me the test, she was like, okay, it's going to feel a little uncomfortable. And I was like, okay. As she started going up my nose, I was like, ooh. Can you go a little deeper? And she looked at me like I was crazy.
In your nose.
I have bad allergies.
She do.
Oh.
Sinusitis in this nose. So as she went deeper, I figured she was clearing out some stuff. Honey,
she probably was.
Because I hadn't had that surgery. And I said, I might have to come back because I might need to get a couple of those swabs to dig up my nose.
Right. She's probably helping you out.
Well, it touched my brain, and I was like, no, I think that some of my thoughts came out with it. I didn't like it. And I think that
what, baby?
Being in healthcare, yes. Misha and I both have our degrees in healthcare. My wife does too. So sometimes when you talk about numbers, it's just like AIDS. A lot of people don't die from AIDS; they die from complications of AIDS. So a lot of them on their death certificate, it says something else.
It does.
COVID can complicate pre-existing issues. Yeah. And so what we just got to do is just be mindful and just say like, hey, if it's out there, it's some people that's trying to be Superman, going out there flying like, oh, I don't need no mask, and people are in emergency rooms and people are dying, and those are things we can't fake. Look, guys, our cousin our new cousin. And he said he lost a family member last week from COVID.
Sorry to hear about that.
Oh, we believe it's real. I'm never saying it's not real.
Yeah.
He said she had other issues, but it made it worse.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And see, people, we're sorry for your loss, cuz.
Yeah.
I'm saying the numbers are rising because people are not taking this serious until it happened to them or their friends and their family. I just feel like that's how Mama said it.
Hey, Mama Lois is absolutely right. She is. So right. She's so right. We don't take it serious, and we don't. You know, my stepdaughter, she called me. She's sweet as pie. I love her to death. She was like, Mama, first of all, Ashanti just got her license 2.5 seconds ago and a car. And she said, Mama, I really want to take my brother and sister to the beach. I said, what beach?
Right.
She said, I'm thinking about going to Charleston. Oh, really? Well, who? Who kids? Mine? Oh, girl, no, that's not going to happen. You're not taking my children. And she was like, but I want to do something nice. I said, first of all, you just got your license 2.5 seconds ago. I don't really trust you to drive around the corner with my kids. Let's drive 2.5 hours to Charleston with my kids in the car. I said, secondly, COVID exists. Your brother's asthmatic. It's just not the most responsible thing to do. Excuse my French, y'all. Sit your ass down. You're not going nowhere.
Right.
I'm sorry, kids that's watching. Miss Misha ain't got no. He said you just got to be careful. And Deshaun said the cases are bad, are as bad. I work in healthcare and monitor the numbers. They are more affected than we know because testing is not available for everyone. Here in Los Angeles, you are able to get tested unlimited amount of time. They only report new cases. My job provides both the swab and the antibody test. Luckily for me, both were negative last week. Mine was negative too. And let me tell you, when they call you, it's like they're calling you like the AIDS test. They're like, we calling you with the COVID, and you like, just get to it. Do I have it?
You know what? Now, I'm gonna drop this, Jay, because Ms. Joy just posted something. I'm gonna drop something. We do have people out here who are asymptomatic, that don't have no symptoms, and just like mine came back negative. But guess what? I could very much well have the virus. Yeah. And the reason is because the test is not 110%. So
you said 110?
Yeah, I had to use 110. So the test is not fully, like, it's not like it could say that we're negative and we aren't. And I had actually, when I worked in the community, I had a resident that tested positive, but get this, she had no symptoms. So we retested her and she came back negative. So I just don't know how good the testing is.
As I sneeze.
How'd she go away? Where'd she go?
Oh,
she did go away.
Misha said what she had to say and left, y'all.
Right. She dropped the mic.
Well, Mom said most of them don't even wear their mask. Yeah. And she back. And she said, was it never in my life have I been tested for the flu in that manner. I never get sick, but I was in the hospital 9 days for COVID symptoms because COVID symptoms are similar to the flu.
Yeah.
And then Antoine said, my thing is why they got a thing in your nose. Man,
I'm not sick with the COVID.
Well,
I guess Antoine missed it that I said I loved it.
Whew.
Deshaun said, did they do the antibody test on the resident? Look.
No.
Deshaun, I turned into the whole medical. So y'all, about last week, Tina Knowles, well, I forgot her married name now, but she still go by Tina Knowles, slammed the Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron for hosting an engagement party while Breonna Taylor's family waits for justice.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Oh yeah, she put him on blast. Oh, Tara said there's no such thing as being careful. Folks are out like this is a trust issue. I trust you get it, so let's hang. I'm going on to take my mask down for a second so you can hear me. Really? That's not being safe.
Sit down.
But anyway, yeah, Tina Knowles slammed the Kentucky Attorney General. He had an engagement party. And her whole thing was, you can do what you want to do with your life, but Breonna Taylor killers are still out there on the loose, the Attorney General.
Yeah, you don't seem too concerned.
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't blame Tina Knowles, and I'm gonna say this.
You ain't
I'm
talking
grateful that she's using her platform
right
for the right reasons.
Right.
And I totally agree. If I was in her shoes and had that platform, I would have said the same thing.
Because it's about respect.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you don't seem too concerned with really leading the charge on that case.
Right.
You know, it just seems that he's more concerned with photo ops and doing things that are gonna propel his career.
And it shows.
Yeah. So yeah.
And I'm gonna say something totally different from all y'all. I know from having friends who work in law enforcement, bringing cases against officers is a lengthy time frame.
Yep.
And we don't know the circumstances about his engagement. We don't know if he postponed it because Breonna was killed.
Right.
And I'm gonna say this: like, we live in a time right now where white people are finally speaking out against racism. The last thing we need is anything remotely similar to black on black anything.
Right.
She got a platform. Use that platform to meet with him, probably, and sit down and talk with him. It's so funny we talk about that. It's like people use their platform to bash publicly, but don't do anything properly. But then we bash the people who do stuff publicly. Like we bash Kim Kardashian, but she getting criminals free. But nobody ain't saying nothing about that. They're like, she not qualified, she not this, she not that. But people who got platforms to bring about change ain't bringing about change. Like, I just don't think that this is a time where we need to be bashing anybody publicly. You Tina Knowles, and if you can't get in touch with them, have Beyonce call. It's just one call. The Beehive will be there.
The Beehive, yes.
Well, Jay, I'm gonna say this: you do have a strong point as far as some of the celebrities.
Write this down.
What? Because I didn't disagree with you.
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
No, you brought up a valid point. No, you seriously brought up a valid point. So I don't see a lot of celebrities, but then I'm gonna be honest with you. I sometimes don't feel like I don't feel like I'm strong enough to talk on the topic because I'm not on social media like that. So I wasn't privy to it till you mentioned it. If it doesn't show up in my news feed, I just don't know. I don't go out looking. But you brought up a good point. We are doing a lot of bashing versus sitting down and have a conversation. But another thing I'm going to come back with you, Jay. How do you know that she hasn't taken that step?
You read my mind.
Before, right. Or she might not even meant for it to be bashing. Well, it was. But
well, my whole point
we
is
don't know that. We don't know.
My whole point is don't do it.
Taking that step and say, look,
right.
If you don't want to sit down and meet with me, then I'm gonna call you out.
Right, and because it is what it is.
I look. I'm like this though. This is the part people fail to realize. There are already people. We know that there's some coons out there. There are already people cooning, and they're confusing the true allies that's trying to help and bring about change.
Right.
The last thing we need, like, you got to be responsible with your famousness. I said that. You got to be responsible with your famousness. So even if she did do that, it's the message that you said. It's just like you don't have Beyonce out there bashing people because the Beehive will kill people. Seriously.
Literally.
And so you got to be mindful.
I mean, but you have to understand too, friend. I'm gonna cut off on you. Tina Knowles ain't Beyonce, so she don't have to be has.
Hey,
no,
you're
still a celebrity, and you got to be mindful of what your celebrity does.
But Beyonce know for a fact if she does that, people out there crazy. They would probably set the whole Kentucky on fire.
But you proving my point.
The whole Kentucky.
But you proving my point though. My whole thing is we got to be mindful of blacks bash. Because the part is it's too convenient for us to want to call people out publicly. Black people is good for that. We always want to, and we call it keeping real. No, keep some change. Make some change and then go for that way.
So it offends you when people put somebody out on the spotlight.
No, it offends me when blacks constantly do it.
Well, what makes you think that it's a black thing, as if whites don't do it either? No offense, Maya.
Girl, no.
Well, guess what? It ain't
White
the burden.
Are crazy.
Well, it ain't the burden that we have right now. You have people who are always confused because you got the other people that are already coding. The last thing you need is to confuse the process. So I'm against anybody who's confusing progression. That's what I'm against.
Why is it confusion, though?
Okay. Why is it confusion?
Just
because she makes a blanket statement that causes black people to attack another black man. Don't know what's
black people though.
No, I said another black man. You said
why
another black man? Yeah, he's another black man. We don't know the circumstances of his situation, but what we do know is this is why I'm big on people running their mouth. She ran her mouth publicly. He ain't said nothing yet. So when you run your mouth, you leave it room for interpretation. A lot of people ain't mastered that yet.
Well, you don't have to worry about me interpreting because I didn't know anything about it.
Set the record straight.
This is new.
Aquarius, look, another petty one. Aquarius, somebody she got a few friends. And then Aquarius said, "I see nothing wrong with what Tina Knowles did. If a black person is especially in a position of power to make changes, we need to hold them accountable. But we don't know.
Thank you, honey. Thank you.
But we don't know.
That's what she's been trying to say.
We don't know that. It's just like people who are all of a sudden doctors about COVID.
Jay, you have a good point. We don't know. You really,
That's all
we don't know. But to me, I don't see anything wrong with her doing what she did to hold this ass accountable.
But
like he out here doing what he needed to do, but Breonna Taylor.
Maybe
that's
she's holding him up.
How can you hold somebody accountable and you don't know about it?
Well, why do you think that he doesn't know?
I know her. I'm asking her.
You asking her?
No, I'm saying how can she hold somebody accountable if she don't even know the process?
Who?
She's not privy to that information. So how can you hold somebody accountable? Misha, that's like me holding you accountable for doing makeup. I ain't no makeup artist. That's like me telling you, well, you need to do the makeup like this. And what you gonna say?
You can't tell me that.
That's all I'm saying.
Don't prove his point, Misha.
I don't feel like arguing with Jay today.
But it does take long. Whenever when you're bringing charges against cops, it do take long. They usually get fired to get it out of the way, but you notice it takes forever to bring the charges against them.
I don't even know that. This is news to me. So Jay just educated me.
It's not surprising that it's taking a long time because the same people who would be charged with arresting cops, i.e. the attorney general, usually don't want to go against police because they got to work with them to get their career further. So it's like working against the dude that's worked with you in the office, you know? So it is a really bad process, but that whole thing needs reworking. So
yeah,
you know,
but it's like you ain't never seen a lawyer sue another lawyer for malpractice,
right? Yeah.
Okay, Jay, you had a point. Let's move.
No, I'm just saying we need to change the whole system because I know a lot of corrupt lawyers who just don't need to be lawyering.
Yeah,
lawyering.
In the words of Tyler Perry, they lie on you.
Yeah.
Police has a lot of power. They have more power than officials.
I went by the church.
It don't take this long to arrest black folks is our point.
That's true too.
Now that's true.
Yeah, but we know this.
Yeah, they don't waste
but you talking about arresting civilians versus arresting. That's my point. We be comparing like apples to bananas.
Well,
it ain't the same thing.
Oh, I think. I don't know if she meant black cops too, but they
don't. It do take a while to arrest black cops.
I see them dudes get arrested.
Does it?
Okay, I wish my frat bro was on here. It takes a very long time to do court, but you know what? Y'all went to police academy. Y'all got it. I ain't got nothing. I just went to school for the other stuff. Black people are allowed to be happy during this time. We have to find moments of happiness. Had to find moments of happiness for centuries. People get mad anytime we smile. Mm-hmm. That needs to stop. We can fight battles and celebrate our lives. Thank you.
Tara.
Absolutely.
Come with it. Let that man get engaged and get some. He might move faster.
I don't think anybody cared about him getting engaged.
But no, you're saying he had an engagement.
I agree with you.
It's just like sometimes we're too critical and we don't know what's going on. Definitely need to change the system. We don't know, and it's like we jump to the wrong conclusions.
Well, you have a point, Jay.
He wants to argue.
But I'm not in the mood.
And you're like, no, it's good. I agree.
No, Misha got a buzz right now.
No, I actually don't.
Black people celebrating the 4th.
I personally don't know any black people who have ever celebrated the 4th, and I come from a military family. Now, we've been to a couple of, 4th of July barbecues, but
right, that's different though.
They weren't hosted by too many of us. Now, me personally, I've known black people to take the 4th of July and use it just like a lot of other federal holidays as a day off, a paid day off, and an excuse to or reason to function with their family and loved ones. That's really it. And that's all I've ever looked at the 4th of July as. Another day that I can use to see my family and barbecue and have a good time.
To me, that's a celebration, though.
But I'm not, yeah, it is a celebration, but I've never observed the 4th of July as something that I celebrate.
I'm gonna tell you this. When I was working for the state of South Carolina, they got Confederate Day, and I celebrated that because that was a day off. Yep. And I'm gonna celebrate any day that I don't work myself for, and you want to celebrate. See, I'm not against that stuff. Yeah. I'm not against it. It's a day off that I get paid for. Yes. Fire the grill. Don't fire the grill up because I ain't gonna eat the food. But I'm just saying, have the gathering, have it. But here's the thing. There's another thing. We bash blacks who decided to celebrate the 4th.
Yeah. That's what they want to do. That's what they want to do.
That's all my whole point is. Let these people have a life.
What people?
The people who want to celebrate. Look. My wife ain't got no sense, y'all. She ain't got no sense, y'all. Look.
It is. She's right.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that's what
That's exactly what it is.
Yep. And we got MLK.
White, so I know I can say that.
We got MLK Day and the Presidents and the Confederate Day. I was like, is there any more holidays we can celebrate?
Yeah. I mean, that's just something that, I mean, unless we're going to take the government to task every year until they change that, that's going to be what it is. But yeah, I don't.
Well, I'm like, listen, don't be messing up my holidays.
Yeah, I don't really, doesn't matter really what you name them. When people are going to celebrate, they're going to celebrate them. If they're not, then they're not. So. And
you got to think, it goes back to what Terry said. For Black people, any opportunity to come together, we're going to take advantage of it. Mm-hmm. And these holidays is an opportunity for us to come together, and then it's something you get paid for, so you ain't got to stress about it. Mm-hmm. I mean, so sometimes it's bigger than what people make it out to be. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's the tradition of coming together. And I think that one of the things that we fought for is freedom. Yeah. And I can't get mad at you if you want to celebrate the 4th. You can celebrate the 4th and Juneteenth. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think you less of a Black because you do one or the other. Get your grill on twice.
On what Cordell said.
You say what?
I'm going to chime in on what Cordell said. As a young child growing up, I don't ever recall really celebrating the 4th. Mm-hmm. I always thought the 4th was like, no one set up decorations or anything like that. As a kid growing up, my uncle was born on the 4th. Mm-hmm. So we always had cookouts and big birthday gatherings to celebrate him. But I think, and I'm only speaking for myself and not the African American community, but I don't recall really ever celebrating the 4th as, it's the 4th of July. It's always been a way of just us coming together, gathering, having a good time, and enjoying that day off with family and friends. Yeah. So, but in a way, you're celebrating the 4th because that's what you do. But it's been tradition, and that's something like, how do you break that? Like, how do you just stop doing that when this is something that's been embedded in you for years? Like,
well, we ain't gonna lie.
My husband and I, we had something here at the house with just my in-laws. But it wasn't like a 4th of July cookout. Right. It wasn't. It was just, we're off that day. It fell on the 4th. He put it together, and we just enjoyed each other. That was it.
Well, Lord, we had the whole shebang. We had the red and white suit and all that.
So my question is how do you?
But we celebrated it.
Educate your children, because the children's being taught something else in school.
So can I tell y'all how it was brought up to how I was raised with 4th of July? Like being white.
No, hold on, Maya. I'm sorry. I told you we had celebration and everything. We had red, white, whatever them puffy big things were. We had the red shorts, the white shirt, the red, white, blue socks. It was a whole. We celebrated it. My mama did it big, and she was into interior design. Oh, yeah. We had fun. I'm sorry.
I love that.
My mama on here. We went hard in the vein.
You're fine. And it kind of speaks on what Misha was saying, because you were saying how do we teach our children, right? So we always celebrated the 4th. It was just me and my dad. I didn't have a mom growing up. She just wasn't in the picture. Whatever. And we always celebrated it like as a day because my dad was off work. We could have hot dogs and hamburgers and fry and whatever, right? But I know that when I was old enough to ask, like, Dad, why do we have this day off? Why, what's going on? And he explained to me, he's like, listen, America sees it as their holiday of freedom. And he would go through the whole thing. And he's like, I don't personally agree with that. And I was like, well, why are we celebrating something that you don't agree with? And he's like, well, I don't want it to be something where we're all sitting around the house pissed off. I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss. Sorry. Upset and, yelling at the TV or, he was like, that's just a waste of energy. That's just a waste of, that's not how we should be living our lives. So he always raised me to like, we celebrate the day, but then it's up to you to decide like how, like where you put your focus with it. And that's how he raised me. Like, he was like, listen, if you want to like believe all of the things and be like pro Confederacy, but there's also this part too. Like, he let me make my own choices and I got to see what was right and wrong. Right. But I feel like that goes off of what you were saying, Misha, like, what do we teach our children? And that's something my dad did. Like, listen, it's a day, we get together, we cook out. We're not going to wear red and white and blue. We're not going to celebrate the holiday. You can decide for yourself, given these facts, what you want to focus the day on. And that's kind of what we've been doing. And when Grayson, my son, gets older, I'll do the same thing with him. Like, hey, we'll celebrate and eat, but you need to know this, that, and the third, and decide how you want to focus your energy towards this day.
Yep. Let me see. July 4th is just a patriotic.
Yeah, some people think that, right?
Patriotic. I couldn't get it out. Holiday. The country gained separation from another country. Juneteenth didn't free us either. It was just updating of the last to know. Too much weight on these days. I grew up in LA and was raised by my grandparents. We never celebrated the 4th, but when I went to the friends and older family, I celebrated it. It wasn't until I got out of the Navy that I even learned about Juneteenth. I haven't celebrated the 4th in almost 10 years. I've been celebrating Juneteenth for the last 5 to 6 years in my own way. Well, that's dope.
Yeah, good for you.
My only concern is that we tend to try to take away people's blackness because they decide to. Because I'm one of these people that I believe in teaching all history, not just part of the history. And I've always been a history buff. And I love when people try to challenge me on history. The truth of the matter is my nationality is American. My ethnicity is something else. And my race is something else. But the truth of the matter is my nationality is of American descent. So if it's an American holiday, I'm going to celebrate it. And my ethnicity is something else, and I'm going to celebrate my ethnicity holidays. And I can do all of it and still be sound and still be black. All black. 100% black. We tend to like say you gotta choose. No, that's not what it's about. And if we're telling people to choose, we're missing the whole point of Black Lives Matter. It's Black Lives Matter too. It's about inclusion and inclusivity. It's not one or the other. Get you some hot dogs on the 4th and get you a hamburger on Juneteenth. But teach your people about everything, and it's cool. Right. My girls know about both. And they can tell you about some African holidays that we don't celebrate. We don't walk around here saying you're not black. That goes back to no. And it's always, look, and we ain't gonna talk about colorism today. We'll talk about that another day.
Ooh.
Peace, family. Up, Superman back.
What's up, Superman, bro?
Patriotism is a team issue.
Yep.
You can be totally disgusted with our country. But if a missile is headed here, even from Mother Africa, we best hope our team's missiles are smarter and faster to save us.
I'm here for that.
I agree.
Yeah, politics is definitely, one of my friends said it's just a cheerleader. It's a cheerleader. It's a team thing. You got your team. Which side are you on?
And then I'm going to say this for those who say we get together, because y'all know I like to look up the definitions of words. Celebrate. To have or participate in a party, drinking spree, or uninhibited good time. So
does it really say that?
Yeah, that's what it says.
It says party and drink?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Drinking spree. Okay. And I spree the drink.
Yeah, there's like 8 different definitions. That's one of them.
That's the one you picked.
Yeah, it is. So when people say they don't, you actually do. You just, I mean, it's just you make it too much. What's going on, brother president?
What's up, Sean?
What's going on, Sean? We missed you, bro. Glad to see you. Family time. Who made the best potato salad and grill the best? And grill the best. Eating baked beans and potato chips. That was the fourth. Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's like we raising it. It's like some people are just so angry. We like, no, have a good time.
Yeah.
Like just have fun. Anytime that you can get together and celebrate, have a good time because, and we'll make a party out of anything. We went to Misha's house for I don't know what we went to Misha's house. What we went over there. Whatever we went over there for, me, Misha,
It turned into a party.
My brother, look, everybody had a party at Misha's house.
And it's me. Jay must be not aware of COVID.
He forgot.
My brother got 6 kids, so that's already a state right now.
Yeah, that's talk about team.
Right, there you go.
Mama said she worked 33 years on the military installation.
Yeah.
So I celebrated everything.
Yeah.
Every year.
Yeah, it really does.
Now that's true. Now Mama had a party.
Yeah, it depends on your career, your work, all that stuff, man. Like I said, I grew up in a Navy family, so there's a whole bunch of 4th of July it was always a party for some reason or other. I didn't know who recognized it or who didn't. We just knew that 4th of July. Did it. We off from school, off work. Okay.
Hey, it's a party.
Yeah.
So this is our last one because we did good this time. We got through some.
Whatever. I said I was gonna be quiet.
Whatever, you know that. Impossible. How America perfected the art of demonizing Black men.
Oh.
I mean,
Michael Evans.
But white men rape more than okay.
I mean, it's just one of the things. America has really perfected the art of demonizing Black people just in every way possible on every single platform there is. Just period. That's one of the things that they're best at. With every advance in technology, media, writing, everything. It's a new way to really just make Black people, especially Black men. Or no, I'm not even gonna say especially. Make Black people look bad, but we are talking about Black men, so I'm gonna assert to that. So, I mean, and I'll use media since we're on social media. Movies and stuff will have you think that Black men are one of 3 ways. They're either the rough around the edges stuff, the dude who's a bookworm who can't talk to anybody, socially awkward, or the person who's just in the clouds oblivious. He's a bum. So there's just all these things that make Black men to be out to be one way or nothing else. When really, as I said before, as Black people and Black men, we're versatile. We can be so much of everything. We can walk in any circle and do basically anything. We can be the guy who's the bookworm, but also the guy who's so cool can go play basketball with the fellas, or go to the gym and lift weights, or go into social settings and be a fly, super suave dude. We can be all of those things, but the mainstream America or the media, whatever you want to have, paints us out to be either one way or that's it. No, there's no versatility when it comes to us in America, and that's one of the ways that America demonizes Black men, is that they make it seem that there's no versatility with us, and that we are one track. We are one track group of people. We're this way, and that's it. We're this way or that way.
And if you demonize, then it makes it justifiable to treat them at a lower level, or to oppress them, or to. And the saddest part is that some people. This might sound weird, but like some Black men believe that lie and fall victim to that, and that makes me so angry. I don't even have words. But yeah, I mean, if you demonize them and make them, paint them to be this, that, and the third, then you can justify treating them terribly, and that's not. We've got to do better than that.
Yeah,
I have to agree with what Maya said. I do believe that I'm trying to find the right words to use. I agree with what she said, is as far as the words, as far as labeling our Black men. And I do feel like it has in some way, I'm trying to find the right word. This is what happens when you've been drinking, y'all.
Do you, girl?
I've been drinking.
Yeah.
So at some point, I feel like those words, as far as demonizing our Black men and things like that, I really believe that it has it's I'm trying to find the right words to use, y'all.
Well, go with the words.
I put my wine down.
You didn't have that much. I
really didn't, but I'm not even tipsy. But I'm thinking about what everyone is saying, and I thought about what she said.
Mm-hmm.
Words have power,
right?
And
Yep, exactly.
I really believe, like, something a minister said, and when you speak life into your children, over time, if you tell a person that they're sorry as hell,
they're gonna believe it.
Over time, if you tell a person that they ain't worth shit, they're going to believe it.
Hello, incarceration.
I'm going to jump on that because I was headed down that road.
Do it, because it needs to be talked about.
I hate the whole judicial system. I hate it with passion because it is not allowing these men to go into incarceration and come out as productive citizens.
Speak it.
They come out prepared to go back in.
Yeah.
And
it's safer back in.
For the love of God, whatever tools that they lacked prior to them going in, the counseling, all the stuff that's needed to make them productive citizens, why are we setting them up to go back in?
Right. Yeah.
It just
they
doesn't make
want them
sense.
there.
So as far as that, I do feel like those stigmatisms, those words, those things, those clouds that have lingered over them has held them back from moving forward.
Yeah.
Full-heartedly agree.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But what do we do to change that? Because it makes me so angry I can't even see straight.
Well, I definitely agree. First, I think to answer your question, that's why we have organizations like the Recidivism Reduction Education Program Services that is founded and led by Kerwin Pittman, where his focuses are on incarceration prevention, but also recidivism reduction and also wellness. So his whole thing is for those who went to jail, he's trying to stop them from having the desire or developing the habits to go back. And those who also have habits that may predispose them for incarceration, he's trying to prevent that, but also he's trying to help regardless of your life choices or life path. He wants them to find wellness and be healthy and whole. So that's one way right there, is by standing behind organizations that really do get it. Because when I went to go get my pistol permit, I was like, Kerwin, what I do? Because you trust people who know about certain things, and we typically yield to the ones who's the expert. And he's dedicated his whole life to this, dedicated his life to rebuilding the community he wants to destroy. So that's one, partnering with organizations who get it and know. The second thing is, this goes back to the next thing that I was really saying in the beginning. Because we understand that Black men are demonized, I'm not a fan of public scrutiny of Black people. I get it. I get how some people say, yeah, you got to do it, blah, blah, blah. No, I feel like
it's already. You're not a fan of what?
We already deal with scrutiny every day, and we are demonized. And so the last thing I want to see is Black on Black. And it's funny, the same ones who always want to bring up Black on Black crime be the main ones talking about I'm going to call Black people out, not realizing it's a crime because it's a target already on us. The last thing we need is an excuse to have another target on us. See, this is the thing.
This is where I'm a disagree.
People are so educated sometimes that they don't realize they do some stupid stuff. And when I say that we are hindering progression, sometimes the very thing that you're fighting for, you're stalling when you do things. It's about being strategic.
This is where I'm
We joked about it. We joked about it when you was cussing people out. I ain't calling you out in front of everybody. We like, Misha, come on. And what is wrong with doing that?
You had to bring up my past.
Well, no, my point is, what is wrong with us where we can't get to a place where we can't talk to people because we deal with stuff. Then one thing nobody can tell me, I'm a 6-foot Black man. You can't tell me what I deal with every day. And I have to justify what I have and fight for it. And I got a darn master's degree. And I bust my butt and work in executive leadership. But people don't care about that. And the last thing I need, and I got people who always feel like they can steal or take what I work for, and then want to say that I'm not qualified because of the color of my skin too. That don't get tired. I get people that challenge me on this love mission. People challenge me on love.
That's ridiculous.
You challenge me on love. Said it ain't gonna work, it ain't gonna do nothing, but your method ain't working. Some of us tired of fighting fist to fist. You gotta use your mind, but people don't want to use their mind. That's why we stay in the same system. This same system happens over and over and over again because we're so quick to be reactionary.
Ooh,
And
that
not
was good.
strategic. You can't sit there and say you love people like Harriet Tubman, but you're one of the people that she would have shot.
Ooh.
You can't tell me that you don't know about white allies when you don't know nothing about Peg Foot John. But you sing songs and odes to these people, but you don't even know who they are. But you know everything. Some of you need to sit down and shut up because you're confusing the process. People are dying because you have a need to want to be heard and you're causing confusion.
We've seen that with protests.
By your stupidity because you think that you have a degree, but you have a degree in what they taught you. You don't even know your history. And you want to talk about you for black people. We'll learn what black people been through, not just you. That y'all get old and you sit there helping put targets on people's back. That's why I say what I say. That's why I do what I do. But y'all got a better way. Y'all got a better plan. I'm tired of my brothers dying. And I'm tired of stupid arguments and stupid statements putting targets on our brothers. But you just want to say stuff like you can't breathe. Well, I'm going to tell you that's a lie. I can breathe, and I'm going to use my breath to speak out against stupidity that we do that causes further destruction. I'm tired of people dying.
I need everybody to have that outrage. White people included.
And we're talking about the darn poor.
Doesn't make any sense.
Friend, you wouldn't let me jump in.
I need
to
wine.
But you was letting out all that frustration.
Yeah, he left Earth on us for a little bit.
I'm sorry. What you was gonna say, friend?
No, she's got a drink now.
Oh, my Lord. I felt like it was directed towards me. And I was like, I didn't do anything.
Everybody felt that.
I felt the frustration. I said, well, who?
He's tired.
Well, I think we're all tired. But my
yes.
thing is, and I get where you're coming from. And of course, you probably surpassed everything. But we got to be able to hold each other accountable. But in a way that is not demonizing, in a way that's not mining,
or critical.
Not critical, exactly. So we got to be able to hold each other accountable. And I'll be honest with you, I sometimes feel that this might gonna go a little bit to the left.
Let it go there.
I sometimes feel like some of our Black men are too coddled. And when I mean coddled, I mean that mom has always kind of done everything for them. They don't know what it's like. And Jay, this can be a discussion that we can have later on.
She done brought us back for the third time. Yes, ma'am.
I feel like our mothers raise us to be strong Black women. Mm-hmm. But somewhere down the line, our men have been raised to be coddled. They still stuck on mama's titty for some odd reason. And they don't tend to stand on their feet like they should. And I hold the parents responsible, like real honestly, like some of the things that I've experienced and that I've seen is one of the reasons why I ride the shit out of my son.
Misha,
and my son, I'm using full letter words, but anybody that knows me know I cuss bad.
But Misha, kids watch the show.
Why are the kids up? It's 9:30.
Because we got parents and stuff that watch the show and it helps.
You don't need to be watching this. This is an adult show. But anyways, I'll refrain from But this is why I ride my son really hard. Is because it's like a fire burning in my belly that he's got to be successful. Like You're not about to sit in my house and not do anything. You're not about to walk around this earth on this world in this world and not be a productive citizen. Right. You're just not about to be a wasted space. And I see it so much. And you know, Jay and I worked in higher education. We saw it a lot, and it was so. Oh, Miss
not
Lois,
with the soap.
Mama Lois. Mama said she come with the soap and water.
Not with the soap.
Mama, I forgot you was on here. Disregard my language. But anyways, my thing is this: how do we hold them accountable without demonizing them, without having to strip them of who they are? Because you know, we really could use, words that could definitely strip them. And as parents and even as friends, we've got to find encouraging words to encourage them and not tear them down. Like, I don't believe in tearing a person down. Like, if you're already at your lowest, there's no need for me to bring you down even further. I got to figure out how to get you back up to the top. So,
yeah,
I feel bad because Mama said she come to clean my mouth out. So,
well, I say this too, though. Yes, actually, let's say the opposite. There needs to be more coddling. Because men need to know that they're loved at home, and what we do is
love them without
be hard on them at home, and then they go out in the streets, and the streets are hard on them, and we wonder why they have expressive issues or communicative issues. Love that boy at home. Be nice to that boy at home, because we're preparing people for a war. No, we're preparing people for a war, and we use masculinity as if it's only one way: aggression. And masculinity is bigger than that, and it's not just aggression. This is why, for a fact, Cordell and I talk to at least 127 men a week, and they break down and cry to us because they're saying that they can't fully express themselves.
Wow.
Over 600 men we talk to in less than 2 months who have said the same thing. And the truth of the matter is, these men need hugs first.
Well,
aggression is not the way. We're doing too much. There is no system. We can talk about it. Yes, I say every time we advocate for women, but there is no mental facility for men to go without them getting a stigma, other than going into a hospital and other than going to jail. There is no domestic violence places for men. There is not a place for men who are victims of sexual assault and sexual abuse.
That is a good point.
And with so many things, y'all need to hug these men. Y'all need to esteem these men, because the world gonna kick their tail already.
No, Jay, you got a good point. What I'm saying is not coddling them to where you can't be affectionate with your child. Coddling means knowing when, teaching them to be a man. You know, not doing everything for them. When I mean coddle, you know, teaching them what they should do, that when they get a wife, you know, when they stand on their own 2 feet, they'll know exactly what to do. That's what I mean, coddling. Being affectionate is not a problem. Like, there's not a problem where any of my kids or my stepkids can't sit down and have a conversation about how they're feeling, and we get through those feelings. You get what I'm saying? But when I say coddle, I mean, like, when the mama is doing everything, they're paying the bills, providing a roof over their head.
Right. So there's a difference between coddle and enable.
But they can't even be productive citizens in the world. Like,
yeah, because I'm with coddling.
Mama closed her eyes, son is lost.
Yeah.
Coddling and enabling, that's what needs to be talked about, right? Because I'm a boy mama, I'm a single boy mama, so Grayson is stupid spoiled, and I'm not going to apologize for it. But I do not enable his negative behavior, and I will not do it when he's older, right? And I think that's what both of y'all are trying to say is, you know, like, we do need to love on our babies, and we do need to be there and be their inner voice, but not to the point of where we're hurting them because we're loving them so much that they don't even know how to do right. So I think that there's a difference between coddling and then enabling somebody to not even know how to do right.
Because coddling is attached to emotion.
Correct.
We're talking about skill and showing them how to survive and do and take care of them. So we need to coddle, but give them life resource skills as well. And that's the part we're not doing. And Misha, you done made us go over about 4 minutes.
See,
Oh,
I
really?
knew he was gonna blame this on me.
Why
That's
is it
why I
her
sit
fault?
back here and sip on my wine. Nothing. 'Cause
Maya,
It's not your fault, I feel like.
Oh, it's all your fault. Like, no questions, Misha, because if it's
There
your
we go
fault,
with that coddling.
you better coddle me, Misha. It's your fault.
Yeah, stop demonizing us, Misha. Stop
got
demonizing.
Mama Lois ready to come clean my mouth out.
Right, with themselves.
You did that though. You did that. You did that.
Misha.
And you know what? I'm gonna own it, Cordell. Thank you.
Well, Maya, this is where we do what is called a positive brother shout out. We want you to just shout out some brothers that's making a positive change.
Okay.
Things. So go ahead and
Am I starting?
Yeah, you got
This
it.
is so exciting. Okay. Daniel Carr. I don't know if y'all know the Carr family. You might through show. I don't know. They go to Victorious Praise Church, and he is just like, when I think of Jesus, that's him. And he's doing all the things. He's raising 4 Black boys, and they are the most respectful, like humble, amazing children I've probably ever met. He's doing it, and it's amazing. Donovan Mack, he's the husband of my best friend Tierra. He is in a bike gang, and he's like huge and black and has dreads, right? So everybody's like, oh, he's so scary. And he's the exact opposite. And he's trying to recreate that like narrative of this like scary black man. So I'm here for both of them. They are incredible. That's the only 2 I got.
Shout out to those brothers.
It's on you, Miss Misha.
Oh.
She's gonna shout herself out.
Because he don't put me on blast. I knew he was gonna get me. I don't know why I let Jay fool me to do this.
We had some.
Because I knew he was gonna get me and hold me responsible for going over. But,
I love you.
I'm gonna tell you this: the person that I really want to shout out. You know, last week I shouted out my husband, but I really do want to shout out my brothers. I have watched them, especially my younger brother, the baby of the 3 of us. They really make me proud to see all the things that mom instilled in us. And especially with my younger brother. You know, my mom passed away in 2010 from breast cancer.
Yeah.
So to see them thrive and push through all of that, because, you know, she was their clutch. You know, they stayed up underneath her, and to see where he is now, he just makes me super proud. And he's an amazing father. My other brother is coming along very well. Still some challenges there, but he's pushing through. And I actually speak life into both of them all the time. And as the oldest and the shortest, I speak life into both of them. So I would just definitely give a shout out to my brothers, Damon and Darrell Richburg. Well, Damon Pringle and Darrell Richburg. Yeah. Go ahead, Joe.
Shout out to the brothers, your brothers. They come onto the show. We're gonna take them too.
Yep. Yeah, make sure you share it with them and tell them we appreciate them, Misha.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I love them, because it's not a time that I can't call. I'll use an example. My garbage. So we had a little lightning storm here. Must be Monday. Yeah, I don't get my hands dirty. I don't do that. Well, anyways, the garbage disposal stopped working. So I know that there's a reset button.
There is?
Yeah, girl.
I didn't know that.
Disposal. Well, I called my brother, and I'm like, hey, it's not working. Like, what do I need to do? The younger one, he's the baby. And he's like, well, sis, I'm gonna need you to stick your hand in the garbage disposal. You want me to stick my hand in the garbage disposal?
Nope.
I said, I just wait to Reggie get home. And I tried to reset it, everything, and Reggie, my wonderful husband, walked the door. And he spun that thing one good time, and let me tell you, the garbage disposal been working. And he's like, well, I could come up there, because they live in Somerville. He's like, I could come up, but I won't be able to get to you till Sunday. So you want me to go without a garbage disposal till Sunday? I'll call somebody to fix it first before I go without.
I understand that.
So that's why she shouted them out.
No, but they not because they're there for me, but I'm just saying they've grown so much. They really have.
You better go.
Also amazing fathers.
Okay, we going over. I gotta say what I gotta say.
I'm gonna drink my wine.
And I'm a curse. But nah, so I definitely got to shout out to Brother Jay for real. We here every week doing this thing, and it's all gas, no brakes. You know, we hardly ever take breaks for real. And he left Earth on us today, so I had to watch him soar up. But that was amazing, though. It was amazing. But no, I also want to shout out, of course, the brothers on the live: Sean, Joseph, Deshaun,
Our cousin Antoine.
You know, everybody. But I also want to shout out too that. I want to shout out all the brothers who, you know, who show that, or who are embodiments of the versatility that Black people, that Black men are. My man Keon, my man Deshaun, me, us, Jay, me, all other brothers that we come in contact with. There are so many men out there. There are so many brothers out there who just show on a daily basis that Black men can be. They can be more than what people say we are, and they can be everything. They can jump. They can be in all these different. They can check all these different boxes and do it effortlessly because that is just who they are. They don't have to try. They don't have to make up anything. That's just who they are. And so I shout out to those brothers because we show the world that what they say about us isn't true, and we do that by just being. We don't have to broadcast anything like that. We just are, and we show the world on a daily basis that they are lying to people about us. They are lying on us. They are demonizing us. But it's okay. I don't say no, it's not okay. But it's gonna happen. But we're gonna just be and show people that it's not that, and it is a lie, because that's really what it is. A gigantic lie.
It is.
See, and I ain't even have to leave. You left first that time. What he said and everything. But no, before I do that, I definitely want to thank Maya. I didn't even get a chance to talk about how God, she is using her every bit of realm of influence and privilege to advocate for Black lives. And she makes sure that she go live every chance she gets, every time something happens. So I definitely appreciate the service, Maya, that you are doing for the Black community and your passion to make things right.
It is the least I can do.
Misha, thank you for being reminiscent of a generation that we often have taken for granted, that is no longer there. That Southern Belle, you know, get in your tail mother, we still need those.
Right.
And it's great to have women like you who hold people accountable, who not afraid to speak the truth, but also love them at the same time. Ooh, and she can cook though, but her husband can burn. But she can cook, her husband throw down. But I thank you for everything that you do in my life and have helped me, because our conversation also have made me a better father and husband. You've helped me understand different things, you know, in my moments of frustration. So I thank you. And also you've been that example, that big sister to say, okay, note to self, don't do that when I get home. So I appreciate everything that you're doing. And all the people that are on here, I thank you. Especially, look, Joseph has been my friend. We've been friends on Facebook since I had a Facebook. I don't even know how we became friends, because he all the way in Arkansas. He is all the way in Arkansas. And he said, Jay, I normally don't speak because it takes me time to gather my thoughts. And he was able to participate, put his thoughts out there. But guys, they're brothers who are not able to get to lives like this because they're trying to just survive. Reach out to them. Give them a message, give something encouraging. Let them know, like, that they're brothers and sisters that really do love them. And that really are there for them. If you can't hug them, we'll give them a hug. Tell them where they're at. So please share this with other people. We got Corey on. Everybody, it's his birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy
birthday.
So please share this message with other people who need a hug, who need encouragement, who need to know. Remember, you can connect with all of us. I had it all in the ticker. And like we say, every Thursday, if you feel like nobody else in this world loves you, you have just met 4 people that do. Reach out to us, connect with us. We're here for you. We love you. Y'all have a good night.
See y'all.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.